King Von is dead and that ain't coming back. He ain't a serial killer and he was a demon.
Charleston White has never hidden his dislike for King Von. In fact, he's called him a demon in human form and a serial killer, comments that have shocked and angered many people. He even went as far as praising
I shook hands with the hands, that killed King
person
Von.
who killed Von, saying, "I shook hands with the man that killed King Von." But Charleston's disrespect doesn't stop there. He's openly dissed Von and his family, even going so far as to say Von deserved to die. White has built a reputation for being blunt, and he's unapologetic about speaking ill of the dead. In a recent interview with DJ Academics, Charleston explained why he'll never stop dissing King Von, even after his death. Many criticized him for turning Von's passing into a twisted celebration, but Charleston stood firm. He compared the situation to Tuka, saying no one defended Tuka the way they're defending King Von. According to White, Von's violent lifestyle made his death unavoidable.
A lot of people don't like the nature of how you've turned his death into almost a celebration.
No one defended Tuka like they defended King Von. King Von was known to be...
DJ Academics believes that dissing the dead, no matter who they were in life, crosses a line. He argues that death itself is the ultimate punishment and that grudges should end when someone passes. Once someone dies, you've got to give it up, he explained, urging people to leave the dead in peace. But Charleston White doesn't share that sentiment. Known for his controversial takes, White had a lot to say about King Von's past and why he believes Von's death is a reflection of his life choices. White pointed out that Von wasn't just a rapper, he had a dark history that couldn't be ignored. White brought up Von's 2014 murder charge in the death of Malcolm Stuckey. While Von beat the case, White questioned how he managed to walk free. The witnesses came up dead, White said bluntly. He beat murder cases, but let's look at how. That's serious. King Von's story is one of controversy, and his past actions often sparked heated debates. In his music, Von didn't shy away from...
Someone say you take it too far. Like, you had a clip that went viral where you're like, death to all gang members.
Death to all gang members. Don't gangbangers kill? Don't gangbanger wake up every day looking to kill an op? So why shouldn't they die? Why should we wish death on the people that kill people?
So do you think the remedy is for them to die?
Yes.
According to Act, dissing the dead is a no-go zone, even if they were gangbangers. He believes that their death means that they paid for their evil actions.
I always say, like, even if you had a problem with someone, once they die, you know, those
talking about his violent life. On the track What's Next, he openly rapped about witnesses in his murder case being killed, leaving only himself to testify. Even Lil Durk mentioned this in his song Durky O Crazy, saying, "And they couldn't find a witness, Von gon' be home." These lyrics hinted at the dark reality of Von's life and how he managed to avoid prison. Charleston White, however, has no sympathy for King Von's legacy. He didn't mince words when he called Von a demon and celebrated his death as a necessary end. King Von was a demon, White said. To eliminate that demon, that's God's work. Charleston White has been outspoken about his views on King Von, referring to him as a demon and calling his death an act of divine intervention. White doesn't just stop there. He believes Von's music glorified violence in a way that made it sound appealing. He said, when you listen to his lyrics, he makes killing someone seem fascinating. King Von was one of Satan's greatest soldiers, and that's why he could vividly tell the stories of the people he killed and captivate so many young listeners. King Von's music was raw and unapologetic, reflecting the harsh realities of his life in the streets. However, many of his lyrics went beyond storytelling and described real-life incidents of violence. Take his song Pressin' as an example. In the track, Von seemingly references the murder of FBG Brick with the line, "I mean a switch, I can shoot a brick and they still say I hit. I mean, they hit. They caught that brick and hit him in his." On July 17, 2017, tragedy struck on the 6300 block of South St. Lawrence in Chicago. Police arrived to a devastating scene. Kobe Mack was lying in front of a home with a gunshot wound to the head, while FBG Brick was found in a nearby alley, shot in the back and arm. Witnesses say Kobe was hit instantly, and Brick tried to escape by climbing a fence but was shot before he could get away. Both men were pronounced dead on the scene, marking yet another heartbreaking day in Chicago's cycle of violence. King Von, a rapper known for weaving real-life events into his music, often referenced violent incidents like this in his songs. One of the most chilling examples was the murder of Tuka in 2011. In his song For a Fact, Von rapped, "Caught that boy right by that bus, this his last stop," referring to Tuka's shocking death. On January 12, 2011, 15-year-old Tuka was standing at a bus stop on East 63rd Street with two friends. They were waiting for a bus when a man approached them, initially seeming harmless as he asked about the bus schedule. Moments later, the man walked behind the bus shelter, pulled out a silver handgun, and aimed it at Tuka. Without warning, he fired a shot, ending the young teen's life in a matter of seconds. The tragic story of Tuka's death is still fresh in many people's minds. On that fateful day, Tuka tried to escape after being shot, but the gunman didn't stop. He followed Tuka, shooting him 3 more times in the back with chilling precision. Tuka collapsed, his life taken in a flash. The paramedics arrived quickly, but it was too late. Tuka was declared dead right there. Even though King Von wasn't directly linked to these murders, he rapped about them in his songs, sharing details about real-life violence. This is where Charleston White's anger toward Von comes from. While some think Charleston's hate is just for attention, it goes much deeper. In an interview, Charleston explained that his problem with King Von was because he killed people, especially black people, and then bragged about it in his music. Charleston sees this as a problem, believing Von's lyrics glorified murder and violence in a harmful way. Now, what do you think? Should artists be held responsible for glorifying violence in their music, or is it just part of the art? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. King Von's music often reflected his violent past, and some of his most famous tracks talked about real murders. One of the most chilling was the killing of 17-year-old Kiara Barnes, also known as Key. On April 11th, Key was shot 9 times in front of a home on South Earl Street. She tried to run but collapsed on a neighbor's doorstep and later died at the hospital. Key was with her brother FBG Butter and a friend at the time, and while they were also shot, they survived. King Von was arrested after witnesses identified him as the shooter, but there wasn't enough evidence to convict him, so the charges were dropped. Despite this, Von's music continued to mention murders, including Key's death, in a way that seemed to glorify violence. In his song War With Us, he references Key, calling her an op enemy and making light of her tragic death. Von's involvement in violence didn't end with his lyrics. He was also accused of hiring his gang to take out rivals like FBG Duck. This raises the question, should artists be more careful about how they talk about violence, especially when it's based on real events? Does it send the wrong message to fans, especially young listeners? Or is it just a part of their artistic expression? I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Drop a comment below and let's discuss. King Von's track GTA, released just a month after FBG Duck's tragic death on August 4, 2020, stirred up a lot of reactions. In the song, Von rapped about Duck's death with the lines, "Now he a ghost and it happened fast, we need to toast." But here's the twist: before Duck died, he dropped a diss track called Dead Bitches, where he took shots at Von's dead friends T-Roy and OD. This kind of back and forth is what fueled the heated beef between the two. But Von didn't stop there. Some people say he put a $100,000 bounty on Duck's head, and after Duck was killed, Von even got custom-made all-block chains to celebrate. The whole situation got even more intense when Von dissed FBG Wyoming in another track, Back Again. In it, Von rapped about a shooting incident where Y was shot in the head at a funeral in 2018 but survived. Von even mentioned Y's survival in the song, saying, "Bet Wyoming feel this one." According to reports, Y hasn't been the same since the shooting, making the whole situation even more personal. King Von's music reflected the violent world he lived in, and his lyrics were often tied to real-life events. What do you think about Von's approach to his beefs? Was he just speaking his truth, or was it too much? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's talk about it. In 2018, tragedy struck when rapper Van Tree Chris, known as Deucey Taman, was shot and killed by an enemy. After his death, Von called Y to FaceTime him and bragged, saying, "We've got a surprise for you tonight." Members of All Block knew Deucey's funeral would be packed with people from both sides, making it the perfect moment to strike, and they did. On October 17th, while everyone was at Deucey's funeral, chaos broke out. A car pulled up and a group of men jumped out, opening fire on the mourners, including Y. Some of the mourners, also part of the gang, returned fire, but sadly, Y was shot in the head and collapsed. The shooters quickly got away, and although Y was badly injured, he survived. 6 other people were also wounded, but luckily, everyone made it through. Now, this violent moment didn't slow down the tension between Charleston White and King Von. White's hatred for Von grew to a point where he even went as far as linking up with Von's killer, LTim. This feud became personal, with Charleston taking things way beyond what anyone expected. So, what do you think about this? How do you feel about all the violence and the way things unfolded in this situation? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Charleston White is no stranger to stirring up controversy, but recently he took things to a whole new level. Instead of just talking in interviews, he actually met King Von's killer, LTim. And let's just say Charleston was thrilled about it. He went as far as to say it was one of the best days of his life, even comparing it to shaking hands with iconic figures like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. He was genuinely excited, calling it like touching Dr. King or meeting Malcolm X. White shared photos of the meeting on social media, standing next to LTim, and he couldn't stop smiling. Apparently, LTim was working on a documentary about his life, and his mom, who appreciated White's support of her son, wanted him involved. In his caption, White didn't hold back. He dissed King Von and praised LTim for taking Von's life, calling him a great young king and calling the handshake legendary. This got a lot of people talking with plenty of mixed reactions. Some think it's disrespectful while others might see it as White just being himself. So what do you think? Do you agree with White's actions or do you think he crossed a line? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Charleston White really stirred up some serious reactions when he posted about meeting LTim, the man who killed King Von. He was all smiles in the pictures, even saying that it was one of the best days of his life. In fact, he compared it to meeting icons like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. or Malcolm X. He even went on to say, "Thank God for LTim calling him a hero and referring to him as the Demon Slayer." In his post, White was talking about the violent incident where King Von approached Quando Rondo, leading to a fight. As the brawl went down, LTim, Quando's friend, pulled out a gun and shot Von. Von later passed away in the hospital from the gunshot wound. Charleston White seemed to think that LTim's actions were justified, calling it a David and Goliath moment. He even mentioned that Von's best friend, Lil Durk, had called LTim a nerd in the past. This whole situation has everyone talking, with some people agreeing with Charleston White and others calling him out for going too far. So what do you think? Is White crossing the line by praising LTim, or do you think he's just expressing his opinion? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's discuss. In an interview with DJ Academics, Charleston White didn't hold back when talking about the drama with King Von and his best friend, Lil Durk. He made it clear that he doesn't shy away from speaking his mind, especially when it comes to gang culture. Charleston even dissed Lil Durk on social media, making fun of his close bond with King Von. But White didn't stop there. He went all in by posting pictures of himself with LTim, the man who killed King Von. To make it worse, he shared a post alongside Lil Durk's song with J. Cole, All My Life, mocking Durk with comments about his struggles. He even made fun of Durk's recent rehab stay, calling him a dope fiend in rehab. This isn't the first time Charleston White has attacked Lil Durk. He's been going after Durk for a while, even accusing him of snitching on King Von after a shooting incident. Charleston definitely knows how to stir the pot, but what do you think? Is he just trying to get attention, or does he have a point? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's talk about it. After Gunna got arrested in the Young Thug Rico case, many people called him a rat because of his deal to get out of jail. Lil Baby and Lil Durk even unfollowed him on social media. But Charleston White didn't hold back. He quickly pointed out what he saw as hypocrisy from Lil Durk. He claimed that Durk had snitched on King Von, especially after the Atlanta shooting that led to Von and Durk getting arrested. White brought up a shooting on February 5, 2019, where Alexander Weatherspoon was shot but survived. Then, in late October 2022, both Durk and Von were arrested, but Durk's charges were dropped. Von, sadly, had already passed away by then. People were confused because the evidence against Durk seemed pretty strong. One witness said a fight broke out in a car right before the shooting. That's when some people started thinking Durk might have made a deal with the authorities, just like Gunna did. So, what do you think? Do you agree with Charleston White's claims, or is there more to the story? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. So here's the story. A witness recalls seeing Lil Durk pull out a gun and start shooting during a fight. As she ran for her life, she heard more shots, and when she looked back, she saw the victim lying in a pool of blood. But here's the twist: she didn't actually see who fired the shots. Later though, surveillance footage surfaced showing Durk's arm sticking out of the SUV, firing multiple shots. That evidence paints a pretty clear picture. But what happened next is even crazier. Georgia's DA, Fani Willis, dropped a huge bombshell. She said that if King Von had been alive, he would have been charged for the shooting, even though all the evidence seemed to point at Durk. This shocked everyone because it made people think, did Durk throw Von under the bus to get out of this? The big question now is, did Lil Durk really snitch on King Von, knowing he couldn't defend himself anymore? Could that be the reason Durk got off scot-free? What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this whole situation is wild. Before King Von passed, there were some strange things happening, especially when it came to his relationship with Lil Durk. One of the most surprising moments was when Durk's lawyer, Nicole Mormon, reportedly pretended to be airport security and searched Von. Von even caught it all on camera. Turns out Nicole wasn't just a lawyer, she had worked undercover for years as a probation officer. This raised a lot of questions, with many people believing the plan was to make Von look like the bad guy, so Durk could stay out of trouble. But Charleston White didn't stop there. He didn't just go after Von, he also targeted his family. Von's sister, Kayla B, became a target of White's harsh words. But Kayla wasn't having it. She decided to stand up for herself and fight back against the disrespect. What do you think about Charleston White's actions and Kayla's response? Share your thoughts with us. After years of dissing King Von, Charleston White found himself in the middle of more drama when Von's sister, Kayla B, ran into him. She posted on X saying she would have beaten him up but didn't because the police were nearby. Of course, White didn't stay quiet for long. He clapped back with a post of his own, mocking her brother by saying that Von, her tough brother, got slumped at a club in Atlanta after trying to fight a smaller guy. He even joked, "I hope you don't want to join the hump in the ground gang too." But White didn't stop there. He also took to Instagram to throw more shade, saying, "Tell King Von's sister that I have bisexual hands. We would have been celebrating Pride Month together." In an interview, White went even further, saying if Kayla had tried to fight him, he would have handled it differently. What do you think about this whole situation? Do you think Charleston White crossed the line, or is he just doing what he always does? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Kayla B, the sister of King Von, has made it clear that she doesn't mess around. She posted online saying that if she had seen Charleston White in person, she would have attacked him. She said she would have scratched his face and left a bite mark on him, showing she wasn't playing. According to Beg Butter, Kayla is known to fight, even taking on guys in the hood, and he warned Charleston White to be careful because she could easily take him down if things got out of hand. Kayla's not shy about calling people out either. She once confronted a man on the street for wearing a t-shirt with NBA Youngboy's face on it. She called him an obster and a weirdo for supporting someone from the other side and asked, "Who knows this man?" It's clear that Kayla B isn't afraid of anyone, and she stands firm for her brother. So, what do you think? Do you think Charleston White should watch out for Kayla B, or is she just talking tough? Let me know your thoughts. Charleston White didn't stop at insulting King Von's sister, Kayla B. He took things further by going after Von's mom. After meeting LTim, the man who killed King Von, White posted a message on Instagram praising him. He called LTim a great young king and said that shaking his hand was life-changing. He even went as far as calling LTim a hero and joking about smoking on that Von pack. White explained that King Von's mom never spoke out against her son's actions even after his death, which led him to believe that she agreed with what he did. White added that his mother always taught him that silence equals agreement. Since Von's mom stayed quiet, White thought she was silently supporting her son's violent past. What's your opinion? Do you think Von's mom should have spoken out, or was her silence understandable? Share your thoughts below. Charleston White has continued to disrespect King Von even years after his death. As long as people keep supporting and defending Von, White will always be there to speak his mind about it. But don't worry, we've got you covered with the latest updates. While you wait for more on this story, check out the videos playing on your screen for more similar content.